Howard owns a transportation company and has recently signed up for SalesDriver. He's passionate about using our proprietary tools to help him drive up profitability and help his team be more responsive and consistent in how they handle increases and decreases in demand. Today, Howard's going to set up his pricing calendar based on what he knows about his business. First, he navigates to the Sales tab and under Pricing Calendar chooses Templates. Here, he can see the 3 basic templates that were created during his account setup. Those are peak demand, high demand, and low demand. He opens peak demand and begins to add the vehicles he wants included with this markup. He also decides that he'll mark up this event 40% from his standard pricing. He adds his full and mid-sized motor coaches and his mini coach. He also marks each of these vehicles as limited availability. This shows his customers in the online booking system that they should book early. This little nudge creates a sense of urgency and causes customers to book sooner and be less price sensitive. Howard knows that he'll be sold out eventually, and this is simply a way to show that to customers and cut down on the amount of interactions required with his sales team when they have to explain it. He also thought about adding his limo bus and his trolley to the peak demand, but he knows that those vehicles are mostly used for wedding customers and have a completely different demand pattern than these other vehicles. Now that he's done adding to this template, he decides that he wants to create a wedding-specific template. He clicks the Back to Templates button and creates a new template. He calls it Peak Wedding and adds his limo bus and his trolley. He sets the price increase to 35% and marks both vehicles as limited availability since he only has one of each. Now that he's added the right vehicles to the right markup events, he's ready to apply those to the calendar. He opens the peak demand event and clicks Add to Calendar. He chooses Add to Date Range. Howard knows that his busiest season, where he's sold out almost every day, is the middle of March through the middle of June, and again the middle of August through the middle of November. He chooses that date range on the calendar and clicks Add to Calendar. He confirms that this is what he wants to do by clicking Yes, and can see that the markup event is added and active for all his future quotes. He then moves on to his high demand season, where he knows that they'll be busy, but they aren't sold out every day. He selects Add to Date Range again, but this time, before saving, he knows that even during these times, early in the week are traditionally pretty slow, so he deselects those days and moves on. Next, he looks at the time of year where his fleet is most underutilized. Here, he uses the low demand event, which is set to reduce the price of his quotes by 10%. He chooses the time of year, unselects weekends, and adds it to the calendar. Now he turns his attention to his wedding fleet. For Howard's company, wedding season runs from Labor Day through the end of October, and again in the spring from April through the end of June. He knows that they'll be most busy on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. This time, he decides to use the Add to Specific Dates feature, where he can choose the exact dates that he wants the markup to apply. Oh, one last thing before he moves on. Howard keeps a running list of big events that are scheduled to come to town. He opens the list, pops back into the peak events, and chooses to add it to those specific dates. He clicks through and selects dates for the sporting events, concerts, major conventions that he knows are coming, and adds them to the calendar by clicking Save. Before he logs off, Howard heads over to his company's general setting page, where he now updates the date under his Call Us settings to the end of his new pricing strategy work. This means that his customers can get quotes that include the work he's done, but if they try to go beyond those dates, they won't see a price until someone reviews the quote. And there you have it. Just like that, Howard has quickly and easily built his pricing for an entire year. He's applied price increases when he's historically busy and reduced the price when he's slow. He's separated out special vehicles that have different demand patterns than his main fleet and has applied those to the dates where he knows there's increased demand. He even raised his prices around events that he knew will drive up demand for transportation services and has made sure that instant prices would only be shown for the period of time that he's set up his demand-based pricing. But perhaps most importantly, he's put in place a pricing strategy that is instantly in effect not only for online quotes, but for the quotes that his sales teams generate as well. He and his sales manager can now quickly and easily change the markup percentages, add or remove days, change vehicles that are included in the events, and adjust the availability of vehicles on any of those days, anytime, from any web-enabled device, from anywhere in the world. Howard can now rest assured that his pricing is set up, deployed, and easier to manage than ever before. If you're ready for SalesDriver to help put you in the fast lane to more effective, easier to manage demand-based pricing, we're here to help.